G'day, welcome to Endurance Room. Hope you're doing well. Today I thought we could talk a bit about improving our sleep out in the woods with natural materials. I've been camping and doing this bushcraft stuff for a few years now. And I remember my first overnighter when I was first getting going with it. I did not sleep a wink that night. I had no sleeping pad, I had a bed sheet for a ground cloth as a moisture barrier, and then a cheap poly tarp. I couldn't keep my fire going, and I just remember the bugs and the insects, the night sounds keeping me wired and wide awake. Didn't sleep at all, but I totally loved it. And then a couple days later I went back out, tried it again, and actually got a little sleep that night. Then I started experimenting with sleeping pads, setting up browse beds with different pine boughs, stuffing trash bags with leaves, things like that, and just kind of seeing what was available, what worked. But after doing this for a few years, I got to tell you about this stick bed that you see behind me is tremendously effective. I've been doing this now off and on for about 7-8 months, and it's just phenomenal. It's really easy to set up if you're in an area with any kind of, fallen trees. It doesn't take a lot of time. Like I built this in about 20, maybe 30 minutes with filming. If I wasn't moving the camera around, it would have taken far less time. But all you need to do is set up a cross hatch framework like you see on the bottom with some logs. You stack those up so they're about, chair height, thereabouts, and then you get some pieces that go across the top. But the key is to have the supports at either end, under the back of your knees and under your shoulder blades, and the rest of the stuff on the top can kind of spring and fold around. And to do this, you can just literally walk around your campsite, grab some logs that you'd probably burn up in the fire anyway, and make this bed in no time at all. So I just smashed these logs up, broke them to length, hit them over a tree, and stacked them up in this crosshatch pattern with the lateral supports at my knee and at my shoulders. Then some pieces that run across the top. They're about sapling diameter, about an inch and a half max, that run lengthwise. And the idea is to use thinner material that'll give you some spring. So as I was setting this up, my plan was to just use about 5 or 6 pieces that were about an inch in diameter. That will give you a nice bit of springy cushion, but I couldn't find enough to build that out the way that I wanted to. So what I ended up doing was just using these smaller branches. This is about, 1/4 of an inch in diameter, and I just piled them up, and it gave the same effect. I think it was actually better. It was really comfortable. I ended up putting a sleeping pad down and German ground cloth just to kind of give myself a bit of protection. This wood is still a little bit green, and I didn't want to stain my clothes, but I didn't need to. Like, it would have been comfortable enough as is. But yeah, if you've never tried a bed like this, I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth checking out and having in your toolbox, because if you're out in the woods for any length of time, you want to make sure you're getting good quality sleep. This will keep you up off the ground, away from the bugs and the insects, as well as give you a comfortable place to sit and work by your campfire. I think there's been more than a couple famous woodsmen who have said something along the lines that a person's skill out in the woods is a direct correlation to their ability to get a good night's sleep. I feel this statement is very true and something to think about. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you got any questions about how to set one of these up, let me know down below. If you ever set one of these up for yourself, tell me about it. Hope you guys are good. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.